Hey, what's up, everybody? We're just in time to start the tournament here. A few minutes over schedule, but usually I like to start at 7:15. Starting at 7:20. I had a little bit of a problem with my computer crashing on me like about an hour ago, and it basically pushed my whole schedule back 10 to 15 minutes. So that is what's going on here. The blue screen of death. First time it's victimized me in a while. Welcome everyone. We're doing a 5+2 Blitz Casual Arena. Somebody said a thematic tournament. Under 1,000 bullet to appease me. Alright, we've got Derndatch, World Loser, Tushar Camde, Aldisto, new player here, Estera, Soltigo, Fancer, Vodka Drunk, Arsenal fan. It's all good, guys. You can always count on me to be here. I'll let you know if I'm gonna miss the stream or something like that. But I think the blue screen of death is a Windows conspiracy, so they could do like installing secret updates or something like that. I don't know. I'm a little low on space on my computer, so it might be that I have to free up some space on the hard disk. Just kind of out of the blue. Hadn't happened in a while. So we're ready to start. I played a couple warm-up games. I'm not Magnus Carlsen. Magnus was on lichess streaming the bullet tournament last night, which I thought that's pretty cool. I'd love to see him playing blitz instead of bullet, but I think a lot of top players are concerned, you know, that bullet is more fair because there's like less chance people can cheat. Anyway, it's just popular. Jack Rudd, it's an English guy. Yeah, I saw him once. Doesn't he play like weird openings or something? Yeah, I've heard of him. He's probably like a FIDE master, right, Arsenal fan? I'm guessing he's like a FIDE master. He was like 2300. He played when I played in Hastings, maybe the last time. I don't know, it's all blurring into each other. All these Hastingses that I played in. I get one confused with another. Don't really know the guy. Well, he was definitely 23 at one point. Oh, you're talking about Aldisto. Unorthodox. He beat a player from a club. He's an IM? What? Well, I didn't think the guy was like ever 2400. But okay, I don't keep track of people's ratings. They're going cheap now. Alright. We're gonna start. I have to play Mrs. Derndatch. So let's see, is challenging me to 7-3 casual. Get with the program. So let's see. We're playing a tournament here. Oh, the winter stepped in. Or maybe Derndatch just dodged me. Derndatch did the dodge. He somehow dodged me. Didn't Winter play some kind of Queen's Gambit last time? Or was it this? What are we gonna do? This must have been what we had last time. Let's just try something different. Okay. It's basically like a Queen's Indian against the Slav. I just couldn't remember what I did last time. Don't know much about the Winter. He's playing a London system in reverse. We could exchange on d5, but I'm not sure if that's really what I want to do. Anyway, it's a blitz game. I gotta stop annotating the game as if it was like a long game here. It's so cold. It's like a Hastings guest house. All right, that's why we need to use Airbnb. All right, reverse London system. It's exciting. Everybody's favorite. Thank God he didn't take like the symmetrical recapture. That always sickens me. I felt my stomach was getting ready to like cringe if he does like C takes d5. Basically, people do that to kind of play for a draw. I was not looking forward to a symmetrical pawn structure. Airbnb. There's no Airbnb in January. I assumed that Airbnb was like year-round. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Anyway. It's just like a standard London system. He put his bishop on e7, which circumvents any kind of tactics along the d file, I guess. But it's also more passive for black. But it's frustrating to play, you know, if black doesn't take any risks here, what am I, you know, going to do? That's the problem with the London system. It's so solid. This is nothing more than a reverse London system. London system versus Airbnb, but I don't understand the point, Arsenal fan. Like, there's no need for Airbnb? Or what's your... I'm a little slow on the uptake. Alright, Gleitz and SXPG. Lots of players already. I usually like to start the what's it called? The arena earlier. But I didn't give you guys much warning today. Yeah, he basically lost the tempo there. Now I have e4. How strong is e4? The million-dollar question. I don't know. Doesn't seem to work. But he wasted an absolute tempo playing bishop e7 and bishop d6. I looked at e4, I didn't see it working. Now he sidestepped it anyway. So what do we do? Standard moves, I guess. I wonder if the Winter plays the London system with white. Be kind of a safe guess though, wouldn't it? Hard to come up with a concrete plan here for white now. I usually get to this point, then imagine I'm playing like Gata Kamsky. My friend Albert Bokrosh like lost this kind of position against Kamsky in a European championship with colors reversed. I can play e4, but it's sort of committal, you know. Do I really want to do that? But then again, if I don't do that, like, what's my plan here? Okay, black has played conservatively. I'm playing like a Reti Ricard. Those of you that don't know, I live in Hungary, so we try to speak Hungarian names correctly. Reti Ricard. Reti. Are you ready? Got off the hot diagonal on h7. Nothing really going on here. I guess I could play b4 and try to do like a minority attack. That's really my only plan. I did stop the typical like knight e5 liquidation. Now we go for minority attack. I wasn't really ready to play. I played some games earlier today. Maybe one or two rapid games, one blitz game, and one chess 960. So I played basically 4 games today. I'm a little bit warmed up. Queen e7. Now you're sort of tempting me into doing e4 again. Tempting me into doing e4. We'll stick with the program. If I could get like a slightly better ending, that's all we can get. That's the best we're gonna do. It looks like. If he does knight b6, I play like a4. Queen d6. Okay. That's subtle looking. This is a hedgehog, basically, what I'm doing here. So g3 isn't so out of touch with I even have a bishop h3 sometimes. I want to keep a d3 pawn protected, obviously, but you know, he doesn't seem to have any plan. Just threatening this cheapo on h2. It wasn't even a threat, but I want to make sure that doesn't even exist as a possibility. We have the structural advantage, bigger pawn island. The bigger pawn island, 5 pawns and 2 pawns against 4 pawns and 3 pawns. That creates this kind of queenside minority attack plan, which I'm working on here. Again, I can play e4, but do I want to play e4? Well, here it would actually drop a pawn, it looks like. All right. Wow. I really have e4. I'm not sure if this is even good or not. I'm basically doing what he's trying to prevent me from doing. But he's got problems with g7. I mean, also knight c4 types of ideas. What about knight takes e4? What's the plan now? His queen is almost trapped, but he has knight d4, queen g4. Very dangerous to try to take the pawn. He goes for this one. Okay, now slightly better endgame for white. f4, e5. I just want to kill his pieces here. Now can I play f4? I think he actually had rook g5 there at one point. He might have played rook g5. I'm not sure there's any tactical answer to that. White is clearly better. Fast player. I don't think I really want to trade rooks. This looks extremely ominous. What? Alright, man, he's a fast player, but made some mistakes. Not an easy game in the first round ever. How does Derndacht have 4 games played? How did you play 4 games, dude? You're gonna start this again? Alright. Not gonna play G6 against him. You played 4 games already. The same stuff again. I'm surprised he's not like the highest rated bullet player on lichess or something. That's kind of weird. How does the guy have 4 games played already? I don't understand. Like who did he beat 4 games? I can't. Why can't I click on this? He's trying to prove something. How does he have four games played already? Oh, he purposely avoided playing me in the first round. That's courageous. D6. Does King Crusher do that? Like duck people in the first round? All right. We already had games like this. I can take on F5. What's up with that? Seems like an interesting approach. But then he can play like knight H4 though, so it's probably safer not to do that. Well, I guess if he was an engine, logic would dictate he wouldn't be 2200. He would be like 2600. But I don't know, he seems to be out to prove something. I could take on F5 again. But now there's no knight H4, so I kind of like this move. I think he's playing too fast. Trying to like show off or something. Bishop H6. The point of the setup is where I don't have to castle necessarily. Kingside in a traditional sense. What if I play B4 now? If I take on E4, I don't know, it's sort of unbelievable what he's trying to do here. Play with like using no time and just crush everyone. I don't see Durnatch talking in the chat, I guess. That makes sense. But he's like 2,000 in bullet, 2,200 in rapid, 2,200 in blitz. Chess 962, 200 games. I don't know much about him. I think he has multiple accounts. I think he's used multiple accounts to play against me here. But this position should be okay for black, fundamentally. Queen g4. Queen d7, I guess. Obviously, we're castling queenside. But his time usage is like ridiculous. He hasn't spent more than like 5 seconds on a move. Extremely practical play. Opening the long diagonal. What if I take on e5? Seems like it might be safer just to castle. It's all good. I guess I take on f3. Then I have queen d4 check. Black is better. I can also play queen g4 here. Threatening mate. And bishop takes f3. His time usage is like unbelievable. He doesn't listen while he plays. So bishop takes f3 was possible. That was my original plan. Actually, I don't know why I didn't do that. At the end of the day, I thought about something strange. Bishop takes f3, rook takes f3. That was strongest. This was even simpler, I guess. I don't see any threat for white. I mean, even if I traded queens into a rook ending, I would still be clearly better. But here I'm just winning a rook. There's some desperate sacrifices that don't really work. He was, you know, it's interesting. He resigned here. Wow. Well, he's going to win the tournament at this rate. He's already played 3 games more than me and berserking. So Vodka Drunk beat Lance, huh? He was completely lost at one point. Yeah, dude, stop accusing people of being engine. You did that last stream too. It doesn't look like an engine, man. Paranoid. He's just super fast and pretty good. Hopefully there's no engines in the tournament. If you guys want to report people for being computers, oh, Fancer just resigned. Great. So he's just giving games away as well as compute. You know. All right. So I have to refresh the page or something? This is a new account. I just don't want people accusing others of being computers. If you want to make an accusation, report it to lichess, but don't clog up my stream with silly accusations that you can't really have any basis for. Okay, bishop e2. I'm like one of the most paranoid people in the world, dude. If I don't think they're an engine, then they're probably not an engine. That's all I can say. I get enough criticism as it is for my paranoias. I don't need other people adding to it. Yeah, of course the tournaments have a lot of cheats, but this is an unrated tournament, first of all, you know. It's also like mostly just the people that play in my stream, so that's two reasons why it's less likely to have cheaters here. All right, but anyway, we're not going to dwell on that again. Let's just play chess, have some fun. I didn't think you're an engine, Derndach. I think you're just extremely fast. I have knight takes e4 here. But you don't need to defend yourself to me, you know. Nobody needs to defend themselves against anyone but lichess. If the lichess administrators block your account and they think you're a computer, you have to defend yourself against them, and you're God. But it's not my place. What's up, Move 11? I've played 4 games with the guy. I mean, I didn't suspect him of being a computer. Anyway. But I do think he might be someone that I've played before. I think that Derndach might have had multiple accounts. Back to the tournament. Derndach is in first place, lost to me. I hope some people give him a tough time. I'm up to 8 points now. And you're God. Whoever that is. Soltigo said, if I was an engine, I'd be Stockfish level 2. I don't think so, Soltigo. I heard about a game you played against Stockfish level 8. It's just a rumor. But I heard a rumor that Soltigo beat Stockfish like level 8 or something like that in a game. So maybe he's... Maybe he is secretly... Stockfish, you'd be at least Stockfish level 7. Alright. Who do we have here? World Loser. What's World Loser doing? He started badly. World Loser lost to Tushar Kamde first game. And then he won, then he lost to Too Much Love, so he's off to a really bad start. Vodka Drunk. Another Kali system with like, I don't know what he plays against e4. I had yet to play the Caro-Kann, of course. What are we gonna do? This guy d takes c4 is an interesting move. Very forcing. You can reach this position pretty much. It's like a Steinitz. Dude, Vodka Drunk, what are you doing? with bishop g4. I don't understand. Is this some sort of weird trap? My friend Roby, who's like a 2000 player here on lichess, he's a poker player. He always plays like Queen's Gambits with this kind of line. But why is Vodka Drunk going out of his way to walk right into this trap? It's strange because his openings are so organized. Like he plays that London or Collie system with white, and yesterday or the other day when I played him, he was so solid. No, he got caught. Just checking, is there any kind of Queen B3 check that makes any sense? Queen B3, he's got various defenses. Vodka Drunk may be drunk. Warning. That's why he's 1800. You know, I think like when he's not drunk, he plays like, well, one or the other. Like either when he's drunk or when he's sober. I still have a theory that he doesn't drink at all. I think it's just a bluff. Like it's one of those names that's the opposite. He probably doesn't drink a drop. He just thinks that, you know, that gives people a false read into his style. So now what are we doing here, ultimately? What are we doing here? Knight c3, I guess. Oh my god, he's threatening queen e6 check. It shouldn't matter. The important thing is that you play fast. It's not important that you make good moves. The main thing is playing fast. That's what I've learned. d5. Just not releasing the tension. I don't want to take on f6 and liberate his f8 bishop. Now look at this move. Getting really frisky. Man. My king is safe. How about yours? Little do you know this is how I beat AlphaZero. I saw the game against AlphaZero. Soltigo. Classic kind of long-term peace sacrifice over the horizon. Actually, the game that you played against AlphaZero reminds me more of the game you won against AlphaZero. What am I talking about? I meant Stockfish, level 8, AlphaZero. Tricking me into like saying things I don't mean. This is weird, dude. You gotta admit this is a little bit weird. The way that Vodka Drunk plays. Pretty strange stuff, I would have to say. I could sack my queen. It almost seems choreographed. But now I'm getting really, really paranoid. He's that fast? Damn, he's got like an extra minute with a bad position. I think he had e6 last move. This was really making me freak out, you know. I mean, I guess I still have some decent moves, but I had to think about it. But it's disturbing that when I have a good position, my opponent doesn't think, you know. Like, normally I rely on my opponent spending time when they have a bad position. But Vodka Drunk's strategy seems to just move fast no matter what. Seems to be. Just move fast no matter what. Like, he played that ridiculous opening, but now he's like actually playing what seems like pretty well. Seems inconsistent, you know, to blunder bishop takes f7. But okay, it happens to everybody. Bishop g4, knight e5, bishop e6. But I didn't play knight e5. Bishop takes f7 check. Yeah, that's not so bad, move 11. That's true. Probably not that bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's probably not that bad. Vodka Drunk, did I play him in blitz? Look at him on my pawn constantly. He's like staying on my stuff all the time. That's like a great move, dude. That's like a deep move. It's probably like best move possible for black in this position. It's weird. Really weird. I can't develop the rest of my pieces without hanging my d5 pawn. What's his like bullet rating? I mean, how does this guy have this rating? Now g6, another good move. We got to think of something. Probably I should just like trade queens. The piece is just bugging me. Alright, screw it. You can have the pawn, man. He can have the pawn. Like, why would you play this crazy opening? And then start playing so darn tough after that. He's moving his king back and forth to try to win on time. Not even trying to make constructive moves. This is so strange. He's 2100 in classical chess, but he's a bullet player. Something's weird about this guy. I can't figure it out. He dominated like 2 of these tournaments, by the way, finishing in like 2nd place. I was hallucinating he could take on d5 before, but I forgot. It's like a knight and a rook having to capture there. Do I still not have anything? Looks that way. Another good move, a6. His time play is kind of scary. Yet he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make big blunders. Just the first move with like bishop takes f7 check. How weird is that? I could have taken on e7 there. That was seriously most likely a mistake. I played this game like way too hesitantly, kind of paranoid. Now we're winning in exchange finally. But it's 5+2. I keep acting like it's sudden death, like I'm gonna run out of time. Weird game, man. Defended really well after making an absurd blunder in the opening. Queen b6 note is like best move according to Stockfish. You know, I mean, who plays the best move in this position anyway? Like after they blunder, like bishop takes f7. That's hard to do. It's pretty strange. You know, it felt like he played like best play after the absurd blunder in the opening. Strange player. Can't really figure him out. It's not a high score for me. World losers battling back to 13. I've got 12. Gian's 1800. What's up, Deuce, Deuce, Deuce? I don't think I could bring myself to find the best move in the position after blundering. Bishop takes f7 check in the opening. Like most people, that would just kind of give up. You know, but Vodka Drunk seemed to play basically as well as you could play from that insanely bad position, which is, I think, tough to do. It's almost like he was handicapping himself. Maybe he did it on purpose. He wanted to test how good his defensive skill is after blundering on move 3 or whatever. Alright, this is a new player. Uger 7-8. Against the Chigoran, I used to play like classical systems with c4 and knight c3. e4 would transpose to this weird defense that I was playing with black in some games a little while back. Huh. This is not bad, realistically. Not that bad for black. You could probably try something weird like d5. But actually, I think d5, I wasn't talking about for black, I meant for me. I think that d5, it's not really a great system with e6. d5 is okay, but he needs to play with his bishop outside the pawn chain in this type of line optimally. Although this isn't that bad. There are some Catalan type of positions he can get to here. Though, once again, I mean, it is artificial. I've had this position before in blitz on lichess quite a bit. You know, a lot of people who don't know opening theory sort of drift into this type of thing. One guy like blundered his bishop by going queen e7 against me like a week ago. Queen e7, c5, bishop takes c5, d takes c5, queen takes c5, and he had 2 pawns for a piece. Obviously, it's totally bad for black, but I'm not sure what the best setup is. If he takes on c4, I play queen a4, or maybe even e4. Though here, d takes c4, e4, e5, take, f4, bishop d4 check. It may be okay for black. So maybe I should just try to get my pawn back. Tushar beat Aldous though, and you beat World Loser as well. Where is Tushar? Getting strong. Now he's creating weaknesses on the long diagonal. It's still not that easy to exploit, but I have bishop g5 here. That's pretty strong, I would think, because if he takes on c4, then I have knight e5, when he basically would have to like sacrifice an exchange. This isn't good enough. I'm basically saying basically too much. I think I can just take and force him to take on f6 with the pawn, which is awful. He doesn't have bishop takes c3. Well, he could try that. I think it doesn't really look that good for black either. So there's bishop takes c3 or queen takes d5. No, either e takes d5 or bishop takes c3. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching and playing. Most of you are playing, I hope. Move 11, I think, doesn't like this blitz time control. Although maybe move 11's playing. Actually, move 11, I saw you playing a lot of 5+3 lately. It's really no different. If you play 5+3, you should play in this tournament. De donde es? De donde eres? I don't sort of get time to practice my Spanish since 30 years. I studied in junior high and high school, but it doesn't do me much good in Hungary. Alright, b takes c, and now what? Now he doesn't lose material. Now he does lose material. Everything looks good, huh? Keep it simple. Bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, knight e5. This is a very, very big blunder. He has to take back with the pawn. So that's sort of Sad. I mean, I play knight e5 here, and basically black probably has to like sacrifice his queen for 2 pieces or something. Unless he can trap my knight on c6, which I don't see that happening. So, tough pairing. Las Vegas, Nevada. Where did that come from? Is that where you are? Acerbate? Yeah, he sacked his queen. But he's not even getting 2 pieces. He's getting 1 piece for the queen here. Not good. Okay, guys, it's a 2-hour tournament, so lots of time to play many games. There's a new guy, Gao the Man, from India. Uh-oh. A friend of Tushar, maybe. Indian chess players taking over the world. I'm going to be playing in Budapest, I want to say like Poker Open for some reason. I'm going to be playing in Budapest in the Spring Festival here. There are tons of Indian players registered. Invited by the organizer of First Saturday, I guess. Tons of Indian players in my rating range, between like 2300 and 2400. Oh, he's Divakaran, so he has a new account. Why the new account? Alright. You're trying to sneak up on me with a new account? There's a technical chance I could get back rank mated here. I'm deviously trying to trap his bishop. F5, queen h4. Let's just make sure we don't get our king mated on the back rank. Uh-huh. How did you know? Did he say? Oh, he must have said. Well, that's cool that he like said who it was. Ugur not resigning, making my life difficult here. As far as catching up to the leaders, I'm in 5th place. I'm usually lucky to make it in the leaderboard because I'm not really berserking. I probably should have berserked against a much lower rated opponent this game, but he was like question mark. So, but I could have looked and checked his. Actually, what's his other rating? He's 1400 in rapid. I could have seen that, you know, probably berserked. If I know for sure that my opponent is under 1800, I really should berserk. Under 2000 is not that easy. I'm not that fast. Yesterday in the Bullet tournament, Magnus Carlsen was streaming in the monthly Bullet tournament, and someone was quoting him as saying like the mouse is like everything. I'm like paraphrasing what he said, but it's basically true. You know, I think mouse skills are paramount in fast time control. I've always been a very bad mouse player. Actually, Arsenal fan, no, I wouldn't berserk against you. I don't like berserking against fast players, regardless of their strength. I tend to get flagged by really fast players. So, if I suspect someone's super fast, or relatively fast, I would prefer not to berserk against them. I keep wanting to like hang my rook. We have some nasty traps here. Yeah, that's one of them. Rook d7. The other one was just to trade his rook off with like king g6, rook g8. This is significantly nastier. But I enjoyed watching, you know, Magnus briefly streaming yesterday. Okay, he doesn't have a lot of like emotional expression and stuff, but still, it was amazing to see how concentrated he is, you know, when he's playing Bullet. No, Arsenal fan, as far as rating goes, like in general strength, you'd be like kind of on the cutoff for me. I mean, as far as, you know, under 2000 maybe to try to berserk, but you're getting a little too tough for that. I don't think I would risk it against you. Why is there no mate here? He just like gets out on f5 and e6 if I play queen g7 check. Maybe I should have played queen h7 there. I guess that's the better move. tightening the noose. All right, back to tournament. So Divakaran, aka Gao the Man, is in first place. He's extremely fast. On paper, he's not as high rated as a few of the other players. Well, actually, we don't have too many high rated players. Derndatch is a little higher rated. World Loser is about the same. But Aldisto wasn't Aldisto over 2,200? Where is Aldisto? Did he drop out? Was he not here? We got 48 players. Gao the Man is berserking. Oh, Gao the Man is playing that line of the English. Ziba Live played the knight c6, knight takes f3 variation. And that's a really annoying line for white to deal with. It's so weird with your like queen on f3. There's Aldisto. Why is your rating so low, number one? And why is your rating so low? Aldisto. What happened to the rating, my friend? Alright, 1985. He's like 200 points underrated. He must be berserking a lot. We have our set variation that we play. This line in symmetrical English. Queen g7 was mate. After e4, queen g7 was mate. Is that what you're saying? I missed a mate in one because I had to do like queen h7 and h4 mate. That's pretty dumb. I believe you. Yeah, I miss mate in ones all the time. I'm not used to like, you know, getting positions where I have mate in one. I'm kind of used to like grinding people down with like an extra pawn, so I'm out of practice with like the mate in ones. Not really looking for it. So Aldisto here, like the main line is apparently d5, pawn takes pawn. We never play that. Maybe I should try it. This is probably a bad idea though. He might know it better than me. I don't know anything about this move. I've always played 95 like it was well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I played this position against Sultan Medved like back in around, actually I don't know when it was, 2005, 2004. He was the first person who I ever saw play f5, and it was against me. It wasn't trendy at that time. Now it's like a trendy variation, and I couldn't get anything. You know, Zoltan is a GM, and he's around 2,500 at that time, I think, or close. But it was just a draw. You know, I couldn't get an advantage. Aronian has managed to beat Bashar Legrave like once or twice in these lines. The last one was like a masterpiece. So this is Aronian versus Bashar now. Queen takes d8 and takes on f3. It has to be the same. This is the normal line. I might have played this in the original game against Medved. My original game. Probably one of the earlier games for this variation. But anyway, I've always told the story about how I tried to do the setup that Black's doing when I was white, when I was a beginner. It's basically a floor Mykonos variation with an extra tempo. He's playing like the white side of the floor Mykonos with an extra tempo, f5. I wanted to play f4 in that variation 30 years ago. There was a footnote in the chess encyclopedia where white played the f4 idea. My friend made fun of me for trying to do the equivalent of f5. He used to joke about it like it was anti-positional. I was surprised when Medved played that against me, but consequently, looking at a lot of games, it was like very difficult for Aronian to take MVL out. Though this particular position, I don't know. I'm not sure that this is the safest way here that Aldisto is playing this. But maybe it's okay. Still not so easy for me to do anything. Don't I have something? Well, the one thing that Levon did, which was critical, is basically undoubling the pawns on the king side at a later date. But I don't know. Looking at some weird lines here. And this is absolutely best. This guy's rating is absolutely 100% bogus. He's no 1900. I don't know what he did to his rating. He's letting his like 3-year-old brother play in his account or something. I was waiting for G5, Rook G1. That was my big trick. But we're not going to get that. So it's easier for white to make a qualitative pawn majority than it is for black. That's the basic premise here. And that's what Aronian did against MVL. He creates a pass pawn on the king side, whereas MVL couldn't create a pass pawn on the other side. I don't know if I have the technique to do that, you know, but we can try. The bishop ending is a dead draw, I guess. This is the player I get. The 1900 who plays like 2200. Force him to retreat a little bit. But then what? Okay, now a5, a4 seems thematic. We can freeze the queen side and win the way that Aronian did, you know, against MVL by creating a pass pawn on the other side. But I'm not sure life is so easy here. Maybe he has enough counterplay, you know, to hold on. E4 is coming to a theater near you. He just took. But we're making progress. We've mobilized. Should be able to like at least win a pawn here. Not your usual 1900. So here I can play just f5, but e5, e6 was my idea. Try to win like 2 for... Oh, man, but he has this. He has king e6. Wait, I have f5. We created a passed pawn, but I don't know if it's enough. There's no Zugzwang. Yeah, this is only move. Not so easy to make progress. Rook h8. So if rook b8, bishop d1. Uh-oh. He's going after my pawn. Okay, time is short. Got a minute left. I don't know if I had any clear wins or anything. I have rook h6 here. King f7. e6 check. King g7. Safer to go after this one, I guess. But this guy is no 1900. It's just so bogus. Managed to trade one pawn for another pawn. Bishop d1 attacking a5 was possible there. If I get my rook, if I get my pawn to a7. Wow. Man, just unbelievable defense by black. Okay, this has to win. He kind of like panicked. What a stubborn defense. That's the wrong color rook pawn over there. Alright, man, you could have made it a little tougher on me, you know, in this arena tournament. Aldisto. We're losers out in first place now. Playing deuce, deuce, deuce. There's no rest for the weary. I gotta play Ayesta. Thank you guys for subscribing. I don't know if it was amazing, but I do my best not to make blunders. Ayesta is up. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the stream, keeping it possible to do this. It's been a while, Ayesta, since you've been on the stream. Have you ever second pawn? Ever taken second pawn in Portuguese, Scandinavian? Second pawn? What is second pawn? Ayesta has kind of a tough repertoire against the Sicilian. He plays Rossalimo and Bishop e5 check, a la Magnus Carlsen. I did the Bishop d7, and I'm leaving my normal repertoire with Knight c6 because he knows it too well. I think I did Knight takes d7, and I was satisfied with the position I got against him in this line. I had a draw with Andrei Kovalev, where he did like c4. That's a standard move in this position, I think. We've already been here, I believe. So now knight e4 though, maybe not good. Did I misplay this? Because if I don't have knight e4, I'm gonna have some problems. Okay, but how does he exploit knight e4? Actually, he can't really so easily. Can't play knight e1 and like trap my knight or something. If he tries to do something weird, I can play h6, knight g5, save my knight, or even f6 sometimes. Probably like knight c3 is the best move. Where they take on f7? Oh, no. Never, you mean like... I don't even play the white side of the Portuguese variation. I've declined it once, I think I had to play against it. I might have played it once myself, long ago. A million years ago. In a game. 20 years ago. Tried to play the Portuguese variation as black. My knight is on a bad square here on d7. I was looking at bishop e4, but that seems like kind of a waste of time. I think we just have to accept that this is like an equal position and try to win an equal position. That's all that we can do here. It's like a Slav. None too exciting game, but black should be satisfied with relative equality. My pawns are on the right color, but white has a tiny bit more space. So I guess it's kind of a wash. Essentially. It's g3 with what idea? First we're getting our rook to the open file. And he's trying to do bishop g5 or bishop g5 or should I weaken my king side with h6? Nah. I'll just try to play as solidly as I can here. It's equal. Another really strong 2000 player. Well, maybe queen b6, but I was afraid that he has, you know, some play. Should I trade rooks here? Perhaps. Perhaps this queen is misplaced? I don't know. I kind of feel wrong about trading. But I thought perhaps this queen is misplaced. But I think white is still equal. Yeah, probably trading rooks on c1 is a mistake. But I can do queen b6 next. That should be the plan. Queen c2, queen b6. No time for knight g5. And we stand a little bit better. Or equal, at least. Well, we've got chances to beat Ayesta on time. Like, most of the players here are very fast. Who is Zeba Live? Didn't you play before? He must have been here before. He did very well before. He outperformed his rating by a lot. That player when playing in this tournament before. Another like a regulars here. But I don't know if I should do that. Queen b6, that feels like the only active move though. Actually now he doesn't have queen c2. So this is best. He's trying to do like a King's Indian attack to me. Do I have a threat yet? Nope. But we have Capablanca like maneuvers. I can do the queen into like the white squares. Ooh, I like that. I like that plan. Though it may be necessary to play h6. You can stop that too. The priority is to get on those white squares. This is hanging, and I've got queen d3 for defensive style ideas. I'm going to put my rook back on f8 if I have to there. This just looks good for me positionally. I can't be worse. Rook e3. Now I was thinking queen f5, but it's kind of compromising my structure. Though even that is probably okay for black. Queen g6 looks safer. Because I'll do h5. If g4, h5. Try not to compromise too much. But we're basically pretty solid. We're losers in first. Zeba Live. He's like 1800 or something. 1900. 1700 in Bullet. And 2000 in Rapid Chess. But he played like a master. He like dominated one of these tournaments before. I thought it was slightly suspicious. Okay, now, but he's not the first one or the only one. h6, or do I take? Though his position is really solid. I feel like I should play h6. Truly solid stuff though, man. What do I do with this position? You try to make, oh my god, I was about to hang a knight. So much for that theory. Okay, b5. I don't know, putting my pawns on the right color. Not that many choices. If I can play like a5, b4, maybe I can eventually win like his pawn on b2 or something with queen c2. Bishop f5. He's obviously a cheat. Bishop f5. What was bishop f5? Alright guys, World Loser, Zeba Live, Galdaman. Those guys are all ahead of me. Derndatch is tied with me. Abufazal has 17. I'm going to be very fortunate. I'll be very fortunate to finish in the top 3 as usual here. The plan is a5, b4, and then try to pick off his b2 pawn while defending my king side. Why is Ayesta using up all his time here? Maybe he got disconnected. He's tired of you calling him a cheat, Arsenal fan. Sacking a bishop after closing the position to win a b2 pawn for black. What are you talking about? Bishop f5? There was no bishop f5. What are you talking about, man? Which game are you talking about? Derndatch and I are in first place with World Loser. What is this? Says Ayeste. What happened, Ayeste? You just disconnected? No, I don't know. I was slightly better. I gotta play Derndatch again, and he's white again. Oh man. Not another one of those things. I couldn't take another Grand Prix attack. It's driving me nuts. Okay, he played b3, something different. Your connection is very good, so he got disconnected. I'm sorry, man. It was actually an interesting game. f3, yes, Derndatch. The Jabava. The Jabava attack. There was one Spanish IM who played this all the time against me. But wait a minute. But wait a second, what's up with this? Take, take, take? Yeah, is this the right position? There's something weird about this. f5, e4. Well, why am I forgetting what I'm supposed to do here? I am confused. I lost my... I don't understand. I can't remember how the theory's supposed to go. I take, you play queen e2 or something, and then what? There's a position that I know, but it doesn't look like this at all. Like I did something wrong. But it doesn't make sense. Alright, I'll just take. I mean, it's principled. Oh, queen e2 right away? Is that the reason why I couldn't remember this? I really don't remember this. It looks completely wrong. This is different than it's supposed to be. Why is this different? I just can't remember. There's something not right about this. I'm supposed to take on f3. Okay. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah, there's a really nasty trap here. Like, bishop d7, queen takes b7, bishop c6, bishop b5. That happened in a game. Analysis says bishop d7. And then I can do f2 check, like messing with his coordination. Now I know where I'm at. You know, it's like you're lost in the jungle and you forgot where you were. This move has never been played, as far as I know, like an actual tournament game. But the engine says that black is just better. Knight c6. Yeah. I have to make sure. Bishop b5, rook b8. Queen takes c6, rook takes b5, advantage to black. Derndatch has got all these crazy, weird lines lined up. Jubava had a game. He drew with someone really strong in this variation. I don't remember. But it's basically coffee house chess, you know. I wouldn't recommend playing this for white. Now I have rook b8, queen a6. That's probably not a bad move to throw in. Well, I'm not in a hurry to play like the decentralizing move, knight b4. Unless I have a really, really good reason to do that. Just develop our pieces here, nothing fancy, and just hope that that white king is in an interesting place for the subsequent play. That was my basic analysis on this, but it's been a while since I looked at it. Knight b4. Knight b4 wins material, but it looks kind of greedy. Better not to do that, you know, focus on development. But this guy plays weird chess. Don't know who he is. Like, he's very mysterious. Coming to the stream recently reminded me of other people. Now he's regrouping, but that's fine. So now he's trying to sort out his position, basically. I could have played bishop c5 check there. Maybe I missed the boat. Well, g4. I didn't really think he was like trying to attack me with h3. I thought it was like a defensive move, but apparently he's got aggressive intentions. He's got more time, but his position is a little bit sketchy. I'm not sure if knight c6 was a good move, but I mean, that was my idea, to get out of the way of my c-pawn and play like bishop c6 all the time. Yeah, it's probably a good move. I mean, maybe I should be careful here and play like knight e8. I've got knight e5, but he has queen e5. Though objectively, I don't see a concrete threat for white. I'm running out of time, I guess. We have 2-second increment, though. Knight e8 is kind of passive. Knight h5 maybe was worth considering. It defends g7 and stops his h-pawn, but it puts my knight practically on prise. Okay, this is just a ultra weird position. I can play f6 and try to bust his king in the middle of the board. And now, yeah, well, I'm going to have to play f6 at some point. Knight takes c4. Maybe pawn takes. c4. Just asking for trouble, but it's probably okay. He's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Gonna crush me. Obviously, he has this move. I mean, it's not like I didn't see that. But now the question is, what does he do next? After this, my knight ends up on h5 anyway, and I have f6. So it's not clear, you know, really what's going on. I have several defensive ideas. His king is open. Not so simple. Check out this move, rook g1, though. I guess I have to do this. Fortunately, g7 is defended. Takes a iron stomach to play f6. What? Interesting player. I wish I was a computer right about now. But I mean, if someone accused Derndatch of being a computer, I could understand why. If you look the way he's played this game, I mean, it's insanely tactical. Not too many people are capable of pulling off this kind of thing with white, you know, or I mean with whatever color, but the style of play is so insanely aggressive. It almost seems like it can't even be human, you know. But he's not a computer, I'm pretty sure. Now I have bishop c5 check. Also, yeah. Is that even a good move, though? Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making up moves as I go along here. It looked like a safe move, so I did it. What? Only move. What? Yeah. That's pretty insane. Did you see the moves he played? Like, let's check this out here. Takes on g7. Whoa. Apparently it doesn't work by a very narrow margin. This was played with 16 seconds left. Bishop takes g7 check. Now he's winning. Apparently here I had the defense with rook f6. Crazy game. Alright guys. That should decide the tournament. Alright. Derndatch is just too good for me, man. Wow. Crazy. Couldn't keep up with him tactically. He's just too strong. Surprised he's not higher rated though. He's only 2200. I don't understand the bullet rating of 2000. How do you make that 2000 in bullet, dude? How do you figure that's even possible? All right, this is the boring variation. Tushar is losing to 1700s. Unfortunately, I just lost the tournament there in that game. But I don't understand how he's 2000 in bullet and can play like that, dude. You would be like 2300 in bullet. Little number of bullet games. It's hard to believe, dude. I mean, the speed you play, what is that, your other account you play bullet with? I mean, the speed, what do you mean little number? You have like 500. You have 500 games in bullet rated 2000. How many accounts have you had? Just on my stream alone. Queen b3. This is a very boring variation. Oh no, Ayesta's getting disconnected again. That's a bad sign. Unfortunately, I can't add more time in a tournament like this. You played the same exact repertoire as another player who was dominating my tournaments a few months ago. It's kind of a strange coincidence. Queen c8 here. This is a very rare move, but I think I have to play knight e5 now. Focusing on f7. Usually they play queen b6. Alright, we have nothing better than d4. I've never seen queen c8 before. Queen b6 is my game with Hainal Zoli from last year's team championship. Knight d7 now. We can't retreat back to the good square d3. I'd like to go to d3 f4. I'm actually commentating the game too much again. I guess we have to play pawn takes pawn. And then like bishop c4 here. Do I have an intermezzo? Like, not really. Knight takes d7 doesn't seem good. This feels like the right move. Okay, he takes on e5. I take on e5, he takes on c3. And then what do I do? You know, I take on e6, he can take back on e6. We get an Arsenal fan variation. Now, who was that? Move 11 suggested. Bishop takes e6 and like queen takes e6. Take back, you late joined and tried berserking and you lost all your games. Good job. No, queen takes c3, bishop takes, queen takes. That's kind of equal. But do I have bishop takes? I have bishop takes, queen takes b7, and then takes back. Can I do that? Is that even good for me? This is a crazy variation. But maybe I can just kill him positionally because he has no bishop here. We'll just queen takes, pawn takes, and he has no bishop. g6, f4. Yeah, I think he has some problems here in this position. So I think the endgame may be actually lost for black. We just take back on c3 and play against this piece. Maybe it's not so easy, but what does black do here? g5 perhaps. Then I have time for h4. g5, h4, g4. I'm playing always for a good place, so I decrease my rating. Oh, brother. Alright. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Alright, g4, h4. We try to kill his bishop. This is really mandatory. Maybe he could have played bishop g7 there. This isn't so simple. Man, I'm trying to kill his bishop, but it's not so easy. e4, bishop g7, bishop f4. I hope this works. I don't think this works. Oh, maybe I can go bishop f4, g3. All right, let's try that. Bishop f4 and g3. Now we have the threat of several things here. The b pawn, the d file. I can't let him come in on d3. I may have to trade one set of rooks. The king side looks very promising for white. I can create a pass pawn at will. I think I have to I guess I have to actually trade one set of rooks, but that's okay. But then h5 should just like win for me, no? He didn't. He needed to play h5 and he didn't take time to do that. I think this is just winning. So it looks like we're winning. But the more suspicious account is the Zeba Live in first place. At least he's doing the same thing. He must purposely be 1900 when he's like 2300 strength or something. This is the second time he just dominated. I have to play Derndatch again with black for the third time. All right. He's playing his third opening against me. Deconcentrated by me. Yeah. Well, I've never artificially altered my rating. That's not really a good thing to do in any kind of chess format. So Zeba Live 1700 bullet player, right? That seems realistic. I don't know why you guys get a kick out of that, pretending that you're, it's not even like there's prize money involved. All right. So b4, it's all theory. Yeah, it's the same player I played before, I think. This is all best moves for white. I'm supposed to play a6 here. I've tried to play without a6. He knows all the theory without using any time in like 3 different systems with white. There was a guy who played exactly like this against me on the stream a while back. Here, I'm not sure. This is a weird setup. Bishop e3. He has 15 seconds. He's used 15 seconds to play the opening. Yeah. All right. I guess bishop e6 is too slow here. Yeah, he should basically berserk against me, I think. That would be better. Bishop e6, I guess. I thought there he should have taken his chance to play queen d2. Now it's too late to play queen d2. He's just playing practical moves now. Now he has queen d2. This is like, and you're going to tell me that your bullet rating, dude, you're playing an international master, you've played like 20 moves in 30 seconds, and you're going to tell me that your bullet rating is 2000 on lichess, and that's not kind of sketchy? That's really, really not normal, dude. All right. I've got to think here. Maybe rook d8 myself. I don't know where to put my rooks. Like, normally they could go on d8 or e8. This isn't really his favorite system. I can play c4. Not sure if it's good though. It drops the b6 pawn actually. So I have to do f5. I don't know what I'm thinking about here. It's unfair that he's played me 3 times. Well, it's unfair for both of us, you know. But in a way it's not. I mean, how does this guy Zeba Live have 1700 bullet and he's like dominating this tournament? You know, explain that to me. He played some incredible games last time too. I was not sure about him. I think I must have played it myself. Now, do I take on f5 with the knight or with the pawn? Safer to take with the knight, I guess. But I usually prefer to take with the pawn in these kind of structures. I mean, if this guy's not a master, like, I would eat my hat, you know. Look how fast he can play, like, master strength game using no time. The last tactical brilliancy was really unbelievable. If knight d4 looks right. Okay, he's just gonna like win on time. I mean, I don't know what to do here. He's used 1 minute for the whole game. With his 2000 bullet rating, making instantaneous moves every game. Serbian Santa Claus is here. Do you know this guy, Serbian Santa Claus? He's like 2000 in bullet, but he plays like he's like 2400 in bullet. Let's see. We can try pawn takes pawn, winning a pawn. Taking here. We win a pawn, but he still effectively has some compensation. I mean, like the white squares all in the position are kind of shot. So I don't think even this sacrifice is without like justification. Still, it's like a reasonable position for white. Even what looks like a clear pawn down, I have incredible white square weaknesses. Why is everybody timed out? Mubat timed out this guy for excessive use of 7 different things. That was weird. Mubat's never done anything like that before. Alright, he's got some compensation, I think. Absolutely. I have rook c2. Rook c2 may be good. We take on f2. Now my queen is a strong combination with my knight. But I don't know if I had anything better there. He's actually getting mated now. Well, he's actually not getting mated. Let's see, knight e2 check. Oh, he is getting not mated. He is getting not mated. Nah, that's crazy. All right. Queen h4, h3. Looks like I have to play queen h3. I could play d5 though. d5 looks like a good move. What does it do? What doesn't it do? I don't know. What doesn't it do? Yeah, it's a good move, d5. With a minute left. He's getting unmated. Rook takes d4. What is going on here? What is going on here? We're winning this one. Now the only thing that remains is like, what? How much time left? 16 minutes. That was a strange meltdown by Derndatch. Zeba Live is lost a game. He lost 2 games in the beginning, getting a Swiss Gambit going. That's weird. And then he started winning every single game. But he got easy pairings. So that explains his big result. I mean, he hasn't played anyone over 2,000. World Loser 2100 is always tough. Did we play? 3-1 for him, and you're scoring Serbian Santa Claus. Yeah, I mean, the guy, there's no way he's 2,000 in Bullet. I mean, he lost this last game against me, but he's just too fast. Just insanely fast. I mean, he has to play tons of Bullet. There's no way. He plays the game like it's Bullet, but he only has like 500 games in Bullet. This is a very, very boring line, Mr. World Loser. Alright. What do I do? G6? I can't do G6 now. B6. B6, D5. That's kind of weird. Okay, we'll just transpose to something normal. This is kind of normal. Did we have this once before? I think we actually played this once before. It feels like I'm down a tempo here. It was a crazy position last game. I thought he could take on with this queen, you know. So I think this is actually normal to go bishop c6 here. Black has to be very careful. Now I'm getting concerned I made a mistake or something. What's this? Well, I can just take. Then he has knight takes, which I wasn't counting on. We don't have too many options here. Take with the queen. I have queen d7, and then knight e5. I can do knight takes c3. Take with the queen, queen d7, knight takes d5. Yeah, e takes d5, and I'm okay. But what concerns me is queen d7, knight takes, knight e5, bishop takes e5. What am I talking about? Queen d7, knight e5, knight takes c3. What else can I play? Oh no, I was talking about bishop takes b7, knight takes. Yikes. That's a problem. That like loses, doesn't it? Well, then we have a problem here, Houston. I can play queen d6. Maybe I can play queen d6. That looks crazy dangerous, but what has he got? Raymond Carver, thanks for subscribing, man. Our first subscription today. 94, right. I think I had a hallucination. Oh, man. I guess I'm just lost now. No. I'm not just lost. It's just weird. Alright. I'm just freaking out prematurely. World Loser doing what the last guy did. You guys with the bullet chess, man. The very disturbing variation here. Knight e5, bishop takes b5, queen b3. Bishop a4. It looks like World Loser sold out. He sold out his dynamic chances. And now I'm okay. That was close. I thought I was like on the verge of being lost. Very scary variation. Now he hung a piece with knight, like bishop f4. This is a piece drop, right? World Loser's actually in second place. Thank you so much for subscribing, guys. Bishop e7. Hold on a second here. I've got to be careful yet. Knight check. And knight takes d4. Is this too dangerous? I don't care. I'm taking a pawn. That pawn cements the center and scares me. So, all right. We're up a piece. I like being up a piece. We're loser with a ridiculous amount of time here. Played h3. I'm just ready to consolidate up a piece. Diva Karan, what's up? You're playing under that other account today. e5. I like f6. Locking it down. All that remains is to castle. We should be able to do that. Queen d5. Once we castle, we're out of town with a clear piece up. I mean, I'm sure that he still has some tricks and stuff. He might not resign, but we've got 9 minutes left. Enough for this game. I don't know about another one. I need to win this game. Zeba Live winning the tournament. He did a Swiss Gambit where he lost 2 games in the beginning, and I guess that way he got easier pairings. Aldisto battling back to second place, though. Nice job, Aldisto. Really a very competitive tournament with like 5 players, 6 players, 7 players with a really good chance. Queen c3. That's a kind of suspicious looking move. I don't know what it does. That's what scares me about Queen c3. Moves that we don't understand. Perhaps the scariest of all. But I just want to trade pieces here. Pizzas. Keep my king protected and trade pieces. It's all you got to do. It's easy. Whoa, what's that about? Queen g7. No, he realized he has to trade queens. If this is a, if this is not an increment game, I've got problems here. How long can he drag this game out? I don't know if it's in the best interest of either of us to drag the game out, World Loser. I mean, maybe if you just resigned, it would be better for everyone. We would get to play another game, basically. Maybe. He doesn't want to give up. I'm not sure if I agree philosophically with his approach here. We're taking over. Everything is controlled and protected. Alright, back to tournament. I'm in tie for first with 6 minutes left, but I'm sure that someone else is going to score here. Derndatch or Zebo Live will. Most likely, judging by then, they'll finish in time to pass me. So I'll be lucky if I can finish third. Aldisto's still out there. Deuce, deuce, deuce. Might as well berserk because we only have 5 minutes anyway. So we'll go for it. I didn't play deuce, deuce, deuce before. I don't know, anything about him or how strong he is or nothing. Not sure the Catalan was a good choice here. I mean, on paper, his blitz rating is low, but his rapid rating is really high. So it's kind of weird. He should be bad at blitz and good at slow chess, but he's playing fast. This is a very popular line at the moment. We're still in book here. But anyway, I have to finish the game in 5 minutes. Knight c6. What is that about? Usually they play bishop d7. I guess knight c6 is another line, though. It's probably okay. Not sure what he's doing here. It's kind of tricky. Tricky stuff. I guess I'm threatening a5 there. Well, this is kind of weird. I don't know what I'm doing. Rook a4 next. Well, no, he has to cross his own plans, basically. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I can protect my center. Zebelev and Derndatch right behind me, and they're playing each other. But if they can stall, if that game stalls out, it gives me good chances. We have a nice space advantage now. I'm starting to like my position. Gets a little sharp. If he plays c5, I have knight c3. Maybe he missed his best shot there, though. To play c5. How am I going to win this game in like 3 minutes? Not so easy. Aldisto passed me. Wow. One of them is going to pass me. What happened? Okay, it's his move. You're going to win the tourney. I don't know, man. No predictions. I can't win it, right? Well, I can win it if I win, but I have 2 minutes 37 seconds left. I need to just move instantly. We have a huge space advantage, but it's very hard to break through. That's exactly like the kind of position I don't really want to get here, I think. Yeah, he seems pretty strong for 1700, very solid. I don't think I'm going to win this. Those guys are probably dueling it out. It's a tough ending, depending on how much time they have left. We have a huge advantage now, but very little time to exploit it. Deuce, deuce, deuce hung a piece. So I'm just totally winning. But I don't have enough time to win without giving mate. I should have played like queen takes b7 there, but I wanted to ensure that there was no weakness on the f file. Try berserking the whole tournament. Good suggestion. This is just winning position, but he's playing instant moves. Just hopelessly lost for black. He can never beat me, but he can make me not win the tournament. You know, that's basically it. So I'll finish in 4th place. Gazebo live. Had a draw or something? What happened? Now he's like sacrificing pieces. Whoa. What's that do? That's it. No, he just stopped me. Yeah, how is the World Loser 2100? Good question. Deuce, deuce, deuce. Tournament spoiler. Good job, man. You stole it. Stole the tournament. Oh, man. He's playing it out like it's an increment, dude. You might as well resign now. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore, dude. The time is out. It doesn't have point in playing this out. Tournament is over. You wrecked me. Made me finish 4th. Oh, man. Alright. Well, we tried. We tried. Back to tournament. So Aldis, though, out of nowhere, finishes 1st. Zeba Live. I don't understand the performance ratings. Like, how does World Loser win the tournament with a performance rating of 1994? Boston Wall. Fugazi. I like Fugazi a lot. Aldis, though, 1st. Zeba Live, World Loser. 1994, dude? How the heck does he finish with like 33 points with a 1944 performance rating? 1994. Damn, dude. This tournament format is suspicious. Anyway, Aldis, congratulations, man. Nice comeback there after a really bad start. Zeba Live in 2nd. And World Loser in 3rd. But I don't understand what happened in the last game with Zeba Live. Oh, they didn't berserk, and so Zeba Live won at the last minute, passing me. World Loser, he won some quick game and then passed me as well. I'm in 4th place. Derndatch collapsed at the end. Abulfazl, Deuce, 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 Gao the Man, Vodka Drunk, and Tushar Kamde. Tushar having a bad end to his tournament after a good start. So that's it, guys. Thanks everyone for playing. We've got 63 players today. It was really intense battle between 5 or 6 players, but I finished, what, 4th, which is pretty usual for me, because I do not really berserk. I tried in the last round. It was always risky, but I didn't have enough time left, so that was it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Congratulations to Aldis, though, who was a surprise winner after a really bad start. We will see you guys for the stream tomorrow morning. It'll be Weird Wednesday, unusual openings, Blitz, and Rapid Chess. Thanks to who was our new subscriber today, Raymond Carver, for a subscription on Twitch. Thanks so much, guys, for supporting the stream. And thanks to Soltigo for being here playing. And you did play, didn't you, Soltigo? It was a battle. It was really fun. What was my performance rating? Finally, 2432 performance rating. I lost one to Derndatch. Crazy sacrificial game by him. Very nice game. Anyway, guys, I will see you tomorrow morning in the AM CET, and fun games today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Check out the videos. I upload them to YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. And also, I thank those of you who supported the stream with donations via PayPal. The new chair is on its way. I will see you guys later, and thanks again. Bye-bye.